performance in Edmonton. And meanwhile, Trevor Harris looking to help his team bounce back after suffering their first loss of the season.
Special welcome back to Milt. Glad to have you back, brother.
Where he ran for 171 yards. He looks to continue his dominance in his league-leading 474 overall. The last time these two teams met, it was week number 4, A.J. Ouellette. You could argue that that was the best game he has ever had in the CFL. He had 139 yards. He had 1 touchdown. What does he have in store tonight? As we welcome you inside the studios, keeping us alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, and Milt Stiegel as we get you set for this monster matchup over in the West. And Milt, as I just said, yes, they met in week number 4, but they had both the backups in that one. Starting QBs, this feels like a clean slate.
Yep, and this is going to be a special game. We have 2 elite quarterbacks playing, of course, Trevor Harris, but I want to focus on Nathan Rourke. Nathan Rourke is looking like the Nathan Rourke of 2022 when he won the top Canadian. And if he's on his game like that, he's a special player. He has some special receivers, a great running back, but this team is going to go as far as he can carry him, and he can definitely carry him to the Grey Cup as long as he's healthy. So it's going to be a special performance by both of these guys, but I'm really going to keep my eye on Nathan Rourke because when we talk about MOP candidates, he's definitely one of them.
I think both these quarterbacks will and can have success if they have their run game. So for me, it's going to be the defensive lines of both these teams that are going to be the key to this matchup. James Butler, A.J. Ouellette, you know they're rolling. If they can slow those guys down, make these quarterbacks one-dimensional, that'll be the key for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting to this exciting point in the season where we're seeing enough basketball and teams are figuring out their identities now, and these quarterbacks are trying to figure out which receivers are going to step up, especially for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. You're looking at Trevor Harris, who is going to step up, especially in the absence of their big-time receivers that are not playing tonight.
Were you playing basketball earlier?
I was just saying basketball. Did you catch that?
Did I really say basketball?
You literally just said we played enough basketball.
Enough.
By the way, it is a watermelon smash in BC. How great is this with both hand bases? Is that Wally Buono? No, that's not Wally Buono.
That is Wally.
Okay, Tecumbe.
Wally lives in that frog.
Here. The roof is open at BC Place as the Riders roll into town for a Saturday evening matchup against the Lions, known around here as the Watermelon Smash game. It's the second of 3 meetings between these two clubs so far this year. Whoa, what are you doing here?
I know.
West. The Riders won the first one in Regina about 3 weeks ago, but a different game with different players at quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys facing each other for the first time this season. Trevor Harris coming off his biggest game of the year, a monster 425-yard passing effort, but in a loss against Calgary last week. Nathan Rourke over 300 yards in 3 of his 4 starts this season, including what I thought was his best performance of the season last week in Edmonton.
2 in a row for Buck Pierce, both of them coming on the road. There are only 2 road wins of the season. Corey Mace getting the job done so far away from home this year as well. They are 2-0 on the road. Huge game here, week 7. Riders looking to keep pace with the red-hot Calgary Stampeders. Lions looking for their 4th win of the year. McGee will take it on his 15 near sideline and is hammered back just shy of the 35.
Nathan Rourke prepares to go to work. As you see his numbers, Lions evened up their overall record at 3-3 last week with that dominating performance against Edmonton, possessing the football for over 3/4 of that ball game.
2-2 against the Riders, thrown for over 1,100 yards in those 4 games. They start here on their own 34. James Butler coming off a huge beat, takes the ball, pushes it ahead. Pretty good pickup on first down. Let's take a look at this Lions offense.
Yeah, along that offensive line, second-year man Anu Una continues to start at the right guard spot. You'll see a couple of veteran defensive tackles in this ball game. And as mentioned, James Butler over 200 yards from scrimmage last week for Butler, including over $170 on the ground. No surprise to see the Lions looking to establish that downhill running game early.
204 yards last week for Butler against Edmonton. Back to him again. This time he's going to be driven back. Stopped at the 40. And that'll be a third down. Milligan busting in there quickly.
Yeah, get a look here as the Lions have started out this game committed to the run, starting with 6 offensive linemen across the board. Saskatchewan, who felt that they were out physical last week against Calgary, looking to answer the bell. Did a good job there.
Dre McCray in for Mario Alford, looking to return this. Some good buzz in the preseason, but he's wrapped up here. Tackle made by Michael Alway. And there is Trevor Harris into the game for the first time.
Trevor Harris, 36 completions last week against Calgary. A game they were chasing a little bit, so the ball was in the air a fair bit for both teams. Pretty good shootout between he and Vernon Adams, but they just struggled to find the end zone in that one, unable to finish drives.
425 yards, but just the 1 touchdown for Harris last week. He's had 70% completion or better in 8 straight games. That ties the league record that he and Dane Evans had previously held. Here's A.J. Ouellette. More yards on this play than all of last week against Calgary. He goes for 16.
Yeah, A.J. Ouellette limited to just 9 yards on the ground a week ago. But here you're going to see Saskatchewan looking to set the tone in their way. A nice bounce to the outside there from Ouellette, bending that one back to the right, taking it outside. As mentioned, head coach Corey Mace felt that his team lost the physical battle against Calgary. We know that's something that they want to rectify in the early going here.
On the ground again. Ouellette pushing ahead for 5 more. Let's take a look at the Saskatchewan offense.
On that offensive line, Jamarcus Hardrick, the veteran, out much of last season with injury. He's a guy that they certainly look to set the tone here in 2025. And a big breakout game for Joe Robustelli, second-year man. Had 11 catches for over 190 yards last week in that loss.
At 11 catches, the most by anybody in a CFL game this season. Emelis returning for the Riders as well here today. Harris, near side, wide open, first down. Dante Myers gets 10 yards on his first catch of the game.
Yeah, you're going to see nice protection here for Trevor Harris. Kadeem Carey helping out off the edge on Matthew Betts. Sat him down, helping out his tackle there. Nice escape from Dante Myers, getting off that spot to elude the first tackler and pick up that first down yardage.
Kadeem Carey in the game at running back, and they'll give him a touch early. Couldn't go anywhere with it. Back to the line of scrimmage. No further against this BC defense.
Lions defense, it's been terrific, and one of the great new additions for them, Tomasi Lolile, outstanding at the defensive tackle spot through his first couple of CFL appearances. Former Rider Deontay Williams is in at the nickel backer spot, looking to set the tone physically. The veteran Gary Peters had his second interception of the season last week against Edmonton. Undisputed veteran leader on the back end.
Ripping that ball out of the hands of Dunbar last week. AJ Ouellette back in the game for the Riders here. Harris, deep shot, down the field, drops it in, 5, end zone, touchdown Riders! An early strike to Dante Myers, and Saskatchewan goes on top.
An absolute strike from Trevor Harris to get this one started, establishing the run game in the early going, and then over the top. You're going to go deep, you got to get good protection. Here you'll see it. Pocket kept clean for Harris, and he puts it on the money. Harris, one of the most accurate passers in CFL history, finding Dante Myers for the early major.
Third touchdown of the season for Myers. Rother for a 7-0 lead early, and he puts that one right down the pipe. A 5-play, 80-yard drive that ends in the hands on a 50-yard touchdown to Dante Myers.
Big touchdown for Dante Myers to get this party started for the Riders. Myers, the trailing receiver here, just past that 50-yard line. If you take a look at the corner, Gary Peters on this one, I think he's kind of watching that, hanging a little bit on the running back, going to the flat, thinking he might jump down on that. Both he and the halfback, Jalen Edwards-Cooper, a little late to react to Myers going deep. Trevor Harris having time in the pocket to step up and deliver it. He just put it on the money.
McGee on the return for BC. Ball pops out. Riders have it. Taken away on the near sideline. Dolkey. And now they'll battle for it as McGee went in to try to get it back. And it will be Riders ball. Disaster early for the BC Lions.
Yeah, it looked like Seven McGee had his arm pulled back there. We'll see if we can see who pops it out when they grab him. Malik Straker with the initial contact. And Jaden Dolkey, right place, right time, as it just pops right up into his arms. Couple of backup Canadian linebackers for the Riders getting the job done on that one.
McGee let that slip out a little too easily there. Punched it back loose, but it fell right between Dolkey's legs there, and he was able to hang on to it. A BC team that's been plagued by turnovers all season. A big one here early. What a glorious opportunity for the visitors. AJ Ouellette takes it, pushes ahead. Woods is there, gets some help from his friends, and they'll eventually drive him back after a short pickup.
Again, the Riders struggled to get that ground game going. Much of the talk had been about the production, particularly of AJ Ouellette in the early portion of this 2025 season. Calgary put the focus on he and that ground game. Limited to just 9 yards, but a different story in the early going here.
There's a note on the -10 in the turnover ratio for BC, by far worse in the league. Harris in trouble, has to get it away. Pressure in his face in the form of Tehema. The field goal attempt here for Saskatchewan.
We'll keep an eye on Sione Tehema coming off the edge on this one. You know, and this is a tough one for the tackle, Jamarcus Hardrick. A lot of times you have the running back there sometimes chipping off of the rushing defensive end. Tackles don't always love it because they've taken their set, taken a certain angle. It looked on that one like Ouellette bounced Tehema to the inside where Hardrick had taken an outside set. And just not much to
smashes that one home. And an excellent start if you are a Riders fan. They lead 10-0 in the first. I think we saw some of the elite abilities of Nathan Rourke last week, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Buck Pierce certainly put Nathan Rourke in a position to be successful, and so much of what the Lions did in that ball game offensively came off the run game with James Butler and Rourke able to move around off of that as well, but just seemed like he was in the zone, in rhythm right from the start of that ball game.
26 of 30 for 345, 2 touchdowns last week. BC has been notoriously slow starters this season. They've scored just 6 points in the first quarter so far this year. Quick hitter, first down to Hatcher. Let's take a look at the Sask defense today.
This Riders group includes former Stampeder Mike Rose in at that defensive tackle spot. No doubt he and Micah Johnson will be an area of focus against that run game. A.J. Allen demonstrating in the early going that Guelph doesn't just produce receivers. Terrific linebacker, former President's Trophy nominee. And Tavon Campbell out of the University of Regina has always had a nose for the end zone despite playing defense.
High ball, too high for Katoy as it sailed through his hands. Katoy, big game last week, 6 catches, all 6 targets thrown his way. He caught for 74 yards.
Well, Javon Katoy, such an important part of the offense.
He's developed into that, hasn't he?
Well, he has a versatile and, you know, a guy who can obviously do all the things you want him to do as a slot, but can also contribute as a blocker, tight end, body type.
2nd and 10. That one should have been intercepted. A.J. Allen, who had an INT last week. Some punishment push-ups on the field.
A.J. Allen from his weak side linebacker spot. You'll see this one never really open. Number of defenders there. Marcus Sales coming off the corner. Allen widening from his will linebacker spot to get his hands on that one.
Meyer hangs one up there. Bounces into the end zone. Got around McCray. And he will just take a knee. Boy, how big would this have been early in this game? Should have been an interception. He knows it. Oh, it was a high volume game for Trevor Harris last week. Didn't lead to many points, but he threw the ball 44 times for 425 yards.
Well, with fairly typical Trevor Harris accuracy regardless of situation in that one. Monster game, but again, that catch you just saw to Robestelli, the only touchdown pass for Trevor Harris among those 36 completions.
Running into the juggernaut that has become the Stampeders defense. Winnipeg getting a taste of it over the last little while. Calgary will go up against Montreal on Thursday. Back to A.J. Ouellette. Alway waiting for him after a pickup of a couple yards. 400-yard games. Nobody in the league currently has thrown more.
Yeah, pretty impressive for Trevor Harris. And again, so much of it for him goes back to that level of accuracy. Not a lot of balls ever ending up on the ground in a Trevor Harris game. Over 70% completion rate for his career. One of only a handful of quarterbacks in that club.
Harris throwing again, and that'll be caught for a first down. Duncan Busby has his first catch of the game.
There you see Duncan Busby, second year receiver. Riders wanting a little bit of the Canadian depth that they've developed at that position in recent years. Joe off trying the NFL. Kian Schaefer-Baker out of the lineup. Mitchell Picton on the injured list, but still getting solid performances.
Roulette again. Couple of yards again. On first down, creeping right up to midfield here. Heavy dose of Roulette early.
And here's a look at the aforementioned Del Duncan Busby getting involved as a blocker in the run game. Taking down Deontay Williams off the edge that time to prevent that backside pursuit. Duncan Busby, a guy who went down to high school in the U.S., Southern Ontario guy, went down to play basketball, as so many do, and we've seen a number of them switching over and playing football while we're there and making their way to the CFL.
Lions bring some pressure. Harris hit as he throws, but he drops it in there anyway. Robustelli gets the job done inside the 30. Harris seems just fine.
And you see pressure coming off the edge. Forces Trevor Harris to put that one up in a hurry, and you'll see he can't really follow through on the throw, so it goes high, comes up a little short, but Robustelli, former high school baseball star, center fielder, does a nice job tracking that football, as he has suggested that that skill transferred a little bit from his baseball days.
Told us that earlier in the week. We're going to have more on Robustelli coming up in just a little bit with Farhead. Harris marching again. Down the field. Duncan Busby's got it inside the 10. Harris slinging it already well over 100 yards in this ballgame.
And just love that veteran poise of Trevor Harris. You can literally see him sort of going through his reads. Looks right, doesn't see what he wants. On in the progression to Duncan Busby working across the middle. Puts it on the money. Good concentration from the receiver. With Deontay Williams harassing him in pursuit.
First and goal from the Lions 7. Harris rolling out to his right. Finds his running back, A.J. Ouellette from Harris. And Saskatchewan in full control early out here in Vancouver.
Terrific execution here for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and this one may have taken a little longer than Trevor Harris would have liked. You'll see A.J. Ouellette gets tied up a little bit on the defensive end on his release, but he's able to free himself up. Harris just holds on to the football knowing he'll eventually pop open. It's one defender for two offensive players, quarterback and running back. They make it work.
For one more, and a dream start for the Riders here on the road. 6-play, 70-yard drive that gets finished off with Harris's second passing touchdown of the quarter. Touchdown happened because of another big play by Joe Robustelli. Hauls this one in. For more on him, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, guys, football runs in Robustelli's family, starting with his grandfather, Andy, who was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame back in 1971. Among those inducted with him, Vince Lombardi and Jim Brown. All that said, at the age of 14, Joe gave up football because at that time he was only 4'11". He was worried he was just too small. So for the next 12 years, he did not play tackle football. He played flag football, and he was pretty darn good at it. Dwayne also mentioned he played baseball as well, so still a good athlete. At the age of 26, his brother said, "You're too good to not be playing actual tackle football." He had one semester remaining at a university called Tusculum in Tennessee, so he went there, played 5 games, played really well, then got on the CFL tryout circuit. He actually tried out for the Lions first, had a very poor tryout that day, then had a great one a couple of weeks later with the Riders, who brought him in right at the the start of training camp last year, and the rest is history. He's taken full advantage this year.
A remarkable story for sure as flags fly on this return from McGee. We chatted with Robustelli earlier in the week, and it was incredible. I didn't play tackle football for 12 years.
Yeah, remarkable story. Joe Robustelli, and a great
during the return, holding BC number 43, 10-yard penalty, first down BC.
Great ambassador for the growth of the game of flag football, quite frankly. Is a guy who made it basically to the final cuts of the U.S. national flag football team, which Paul LaPolice recently beat.
No big deal.
Canada's team. Just say it. But yeah, Robustelli was one of the final 19 players in the running for that 12-man roster, but then he had the opportunity to go play that one semester of eligibility he had at Tusculum, had to make the decision and opted for tackle football.
Yeah, he only started 3 games in college, got on the trial circuit, and fits in well. Here's Rourke, top of the pocket, now he's flushed out of it, he's going to take off on a run, first down and a little bit more, slides and gets hit, and the flag flies. Baldonado got him as he was sliding.
And I love this part of Nathan Rourke's
Roughing
game.
the passer, Saskatchewan number 95. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That ability to be a threat with his legs. Comes in as the Canadian Football League's top rushing quarterback thus far. Always a tough situation for a defender when you think the quarterback's going to slide, you're not sure, you got to be sure. Rourke may have sold that one a little bit as well.
Rourke wants to throw here, near side, Couture, he's got it short of a first down, but a 8-yard pickup for Couture. His first catch of the game, second target.
Yeah, you'll see Couture goes up to get that one as the pocket's closing. Nathan Rourke, a couple of big targets for Rourke when you look at Javon Couture, Justin McInnes, obviously, who led the Canadian Football League in receiving last year. Good size from Keon Hatcher as well. All of those guys amongst the tops of the league in contested catches.
They'll hand it off, Butler ahead, up to the 40, picks up the first down, no problem, with a 7-yard gain. Talked about BC and their struggles early in football games. Look at this. First quarter, point differential, minus 41. Double the next worst team.
And I am a huge believer, as I suspect Buck Pierce is as well, the importance of a good start, right? And regardless of the sport, always tough to be chasing. Lions fortunate to be at 500.
Deep drop, now a deep shot, lays it out there, and that will be incomplete. Looked like McInnes kind of held up along the way, didn't he?
Yeah, just misjudged that one a little bit. Couldn't get back to it as it ends up just going over his head.
Working there against Campbell. So second and 10 for Rourke. 3 options out to his left. Eberhardt and Berryhill in the slot. Now Butler will slide over to the right. Rourke in trouble. Escapes. Now he's on the run. Now he throws towards inside the 5. How about that? Remarkable Rourke. Gets free. Finds Eberhardt. Touchdown Lions.
First of the year for Aiden Eberhardt comes in spectacular fashion. Nathan Rourke looked like he was surrounded by Rider defenders, but manages not only to escape, just ducks underneath and delivers an absolute strike on the run to Eberhardt, working across the field to get open for his QB.
BC needed that, didn't they?
Big time.
Had to have this drive.
Eberhardt following his scramble rules. And that vertical route works across the field towards his quarterback. The Lions get themselves back in the mix here.
Caleb Sanders almost had him. And a hand on his leg. Could not contain him. Seconds later, it's 6. As Dwayne mentioned, Eberhardt's first touchdown of the season. Great receiving core here. They have 4 of the top 12 receivers in the league in yards so far. He's not one of them, but he too is over 200 yards already on the year.
Yeah, pretty good distribution for the Lions receivers in the early going.
Just inside the 20. Here's sideline. Runs into some heavy traffic. And is stopped right around the 40-yard line. And that's going to do it for a very eventful opening quarter here on the West Coast. Trevor Harris, near perfect in the early going. And Nathan Rourke, a big drive late. Get the Lions in the mix. Welcome back to Vancouver, where we were talking about the Lions' horrendous point differential in first quarters, and it looked like it was trending that way again, and they're still down 9, but man, that's a huge drive late in the quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. From a momentum point of view, it had been all Saskatchewan for 12, 13 minutes to start this football game. Trevor Harris absolutely on fire. Lions unable to get anything going, but good James Butler run. Nathan Rourke using his legs a little bit to make some things happen. And again, that's the value of the mobile quarterback, is the ability to make some plays when things aren't going exactly according to plan. Against the Lions, their first major of the ball game at a fairly critical time.
Now they'll need their defense to step up, because Trevor Harris so far 6 of 7 for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. We were just talking about his 400-yard games, and he's pacing towards one again, but it's early. 17-8, quarter 2 underway. Harris gets rid of that ball quickly. First time today he's gone to Keyshawn Johnson, and they'll give him 8 yards.
And I love the development here of guys like Keyshawn Johnson, Dante Myers, guys who came into the lineup last season basically as replacements when there were injuries, guys who had started the year on practice roster, the injured list, etc., but have sort of grown into guys that Trevor Harris really leans on, so that in terms of the passing game, regardless of some of the veterans being out of the lineup, we mentioned Keon Schaefer-Baker earlier, Sam Emilus, fortunately back in the lineup, back from injury this week. But there's some of these guys that really developed over the course of the last year, stepped up and are able to fill that void.
Tommy Stevens into the game on 2nd and 2 on the Rider 48. And he's got the first down, falls to the left side of that line, gives him a fresh set with a 3-yard pickup.
Tommy Stevens and Jake Mayer both coming over from Calgary in the offseason to round out that Riders quarterback room.
Healthy Trevor Harris right now, did miss some time. Jake Mayer started so many games in Calgary, experienced backup and one of the best short yardage quarterbacks in the league. On the ground, Kadeem Carey gets about 3 yards on his second touch of the ball game. Talk about their depth at quarterback, pretty good depth at running back as well.
Yeah, and, you know, still looking for sort of that monster combo game from that duo of Ouellette and Carey. Ironically, Carey signed by Toronto last season in free agency to replace Ouellette when AJ moved to Saskatchewan. But, you know, Carey certainly getting some touches early here, and I
It's welcome back to Emilus, who's been out for about a month.
Yeah, Sam Emilus working from the slot is going to break inside. There, ducking underneath the defender as he sees his QB look his way. Gets into open space. Turning it north-south, part of that great 2022 draft class with the Philpott twins.
Harris back in the air. Keyshawn Johnson with his second catch of the game. Emilus and the Philpotts, eh?
All three of those receivers, yeah, chosen in the first round of that draft. You see his numbers over the last 2 years, over 1,000 yards in each of them. And yeah, Sam knows his way to the end zone.
Harris has started this game 9 of 10, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's slinging it today. 3 options out to his left. That's where he looks. That's where he throws. And that one is intercepted down at the 5. Taken away. Ronald Kent Jr. gets underneath it. And boy, the Lions defense needed that one. I'll take the heat for Jinxon Harris, speaking so highly of his day so far. Ronald Kent Jr. Other ideas.
Ronald Kent Jr. comes up with the INT. Had a little bit of help on this one. There's Ronald Kent. Playing inside of him is Deontay Williams, and you're going to see Kent has outside position, outside leverage on the route on Sam Emilus, but because Williams gets over there from the inside, it doesn't give Trevor Harris a lot of room, a lot of space to throw that football. It ends up getting a little bit outside because Williams helps take away the inside, and that is right into the waiting arms of Ronald Kent Jr.
First interception of the season for Kent Jr. Second of his career. Butler, nowhere to go. Shane Ray started it. A.J. Allen finishes it.
Meanwhile, Ronald Kent provides a souvenir for his mom. Mom's got pretty good hands too. Hey, pulling that one in.
Good catch, good selling. Nothing on the ground for Butler. 13 yards on 4 carries so far. Rourke to throw here from his own end zone. Gary Hill, first time today, and that's going to be enough for a Lions first down and a little bit of breathing room.
Well, yeah, it seems like not a big deal as you're looking at just a 10-yard gain on the play, but it's huge because of the field position. Essentially, that interception plays out like a well-placed punt, right? You've got the team backed up right against their own goal line. If you can get the 2 and out, you're in a pretty good spot, but this first down helps in a major way in terms of that field position battle.
Milligan with his team leading 3rd tackle of the game for Saskatchewan's defense. BC operates from their own 18. Rourke rolling to his right, down the field, looking for Hatcher, too much. Incomplete.
Well, Keon Hatcher well covered down the middle of the field. Like Tavon Campbell running with him. You see Nathan Rourke take a little bit of a shot.
After automatic review, we have roughing the passer, Saskatchewan #1. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So you heard them say automatic review.
Yeah, you see C.J. Rivas. Came in a little high on that one.
So that one coming in from the replay center on the automatic review. Dominant last week in the time of possession. Embarrassing, actually, for Edmonton. 42 minutes and 54 seconds last week for the Lions. Had the ball almost the entire game. Back to Butler again. on first down. One of the reasons they had the time of possession last week. The day from James Butler.
Yeah, James Butler was a monster last week. You mentioned earlier, 172 yards on the ground for Butler. Added a few catches as well. It just seemed like Edmonton's defense was off balance throughout, and it all began with that run game.
Rourke throwing here. And I believe that was his running back. Butler getting involved through the air. 3 catches last week against Edmonton. That's his first here today.
And here you see Butler loosens out from the formation, free release from the backfield, just sitting down between two defenders for a quick hitter.
8 yards. Back to Butler again. Sidesteps one tackler. And finds positive yardage on first down up the middle. And Butler really emerging here over his last 3 games, at least for this season.
Yeah, just a workman-like back, a guy who does everything well, doesn't do it in spectacular fashion, kind of flies under the radar because of that, but comes in this week as the leading rusher rather, in the Canadian Football League here in his second tour of duty in BC.
111 yards per game on the ground in his last 3. Rourke, pump fake. Too high. Had McInnes. And you see Rourke not happy with himself on that one.
Yeah, when it's too high for 6'5" Justin McInnes, it's really too high. And here you'll see he's got last year's top receiver in a little bit of an open area against that zone. But too high for him to even go up and get it.
Meyer hammers this away from his own 36. Gray takes it inside the 10, a 55-yard kick. Makes a couple of men miss. And a pretty good punt return all the way back up to the 30 by a guy who has massive shoes to fill with Mario Alford on the sideline. Preseason sensation. Dre McCray gets some work. Riders in town for the Watermelon Smash game. And here you'll see them smashing watermelons. It's exactly what you thought it was.
Yeah, they didn't call it that just because they needed a catchy name for the event.
Here we go.
This included a little watermelon eating contest. BC's Thibaut Debaye and Saskatchewan's Sean Bain.
Watermelon Smash game.
Getting the competition between the teams going early.
Good crowd here, though. Roof's open. Parts of the upper deck are open. A ton of green in the house. Settling in. Long way to go in this one. It's been good so far. AJ Ouellette. Tied up. Tried to force it back in. Not much there.
Yeah, Matthew Betts had a shot at him in the backfield. Ouellette just ducking under the Lions' star defensive end. Good job in the early going here for the Saskatchewan offensive line. The kind of balance that they strive to achieve, but the work of these guys is so important.
Harris down the field. Emelis holds it in, finds the room, and here he goes. Emelis to the 20, to the 10, and he's tackled. A touchdown saver. 69-yard strike to Emelis in his return for the Riders.
Yeah, and you'll see the two defenders converge on Sam Emelis with this ball in the air. But Trevor Harris drops it in there.
Illegal contact. BC number 26. That penalty is declined. First down.
And you'll see Trevor Harris knows he's got a receiver coming open deep, stands in there, takes a hand to the helmet.
Good job by Beaulieu to stay on his horse here and track Emelis down.
Sam MLS wearing that number 19. He was a big S.J. Green fan growing up in the Montreal area. That's the number choices. You see the OC, Mark Mueller.
Trevor Harris, 216 yards here in the first half. They'll hand it off. Somewhere in that pile is A.J. Ouellette.
Take another look at that big grab by Sam Emilus. Guy they no doubt missed having in the lineup last week.
For one in the red zone tonight, 57% on the year coming in to the game. Emilus to the top of your screen. Harris looks to his left, throws over the middle, hangs one up there, and it falls incomplete. And it'll be a field goal attempt for Brett Lawther.
A couple receivers in the vicinity. Looked like Harris was looking for Robustelli on the crossing route. Had Duncan Busby in behind that one, just a little high, a little behind. The frustration for Trevor on that one.
16-yard chip shot for Lawther. 8:45 earlier. Flag there, Riders saying it's against BC. That would make it 3rd and 1 if it is against the Lions. And with Tommy Stevens, that probably changes things. This could be a critical flag here. Long discussion.
Illegal procedure, Saskatchewan.
Go the other way.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down repeated.
Saw Gary Peters right before that announcement start pointing the other way. Let's take a peek.
Movement, I believe, from the long snapper on the play. Triggered the defensive line to move. So that's the call going against the Riders.
So they'll back it up a little bit. Now a 21-yarder for Lawther. He's 6 of 8 inside 40 so far this season. And he makes no mistake there. The lead is 12 in favor of the Riders. Keon Hatcher, huge start to this season for the veteran Lions receiver. We'll have more on him with Farham Algi when we return. Well, last week, Keon Hatcher, big game against Edmonton, called all 9 balls thrown in his direction for 130 yards. For more on him, let's send it back down to Farhan.
Yeah, Hatcher comes into this game 2nd in the league in receptions, and I asked him what was the big difference between this year and last year, with the obvious answer being health, but more than just health last year. But he says this is the first time in 3 years I've had a training camp, because on 2023, on day 1 of camp, he had a plaster foot injury, and he wound up missing all of that camp. Then last year, of course, the Achilles injury bled into that camp, so he just feels he's completely healthy right now. And it happened in training camp this year. On day 3, there was a double move. He was so excited about his cut that after that, he wound up with 10 or 12 catches in that practice, and he really felt like he was back. The team had a decision to make last year as to whether or not they were going to bring him back. He almost went to free agency. Buck Pierce got involved, made sure that number 4 came back this year.
Well, good decision to keep this guy around.
Plantar fasciitis.
Easier said up here after you had some time to think about it.
It was a foot injury.
I like foot injury. This is what he's got projected so far this year with the start that he's had.
Yeah, and terrific to have a healthy Keon Hatcher back in the lineup, certainly, for these BC Lions. You know, he's really become one of the leaders in this receiving corps.
Rourke, Everhart, first down. Over midfield. Milligan trying to bat it away at the end of the play. That'll be held on to long enough, and that takes us inside 3 minutes as the Riders look for a response late in the opening half, trailing by a dozen. Everhart for the Lions.
Yeah.
Oh, we winning this.
You know what? There was
We always
controversy
winning,
with
kid.
the airplane race, but guess what? This is determining the real winner.
Oh, we won.
This is eating it.
We won.
Oh, we won. Again, we won. We won the airplane. We won the watermelon carving contest.
I won. I'm eating.
All we do is win, 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 no matter what. It's good.
Where'd you get these?
Dustin, I'm not sure if you saw the airplane race.
Oh, I saw it. One of the sketchiest things I've ever seen.
Full of controversy. I was not comfortable with the way that went. And I'm looking forward to a rematch.
I was asking you earlier, how much watermelon would one have to eat to be full of a watermelon? Yeah?
I actually find watermelon a little filling.
You do, eh?
I mean, it's not like meat.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I don't know if it's the water content.
Half a watermelon, maybe? Could you sit down and eat half a watermelon?
I think that's a lot of watermelon to eat, Dustin.
Well, maybe they'll find out at halftime. 2nd and 10. Rourke, 4-man pressure from the Riders. Dumps it off to Butler. He's going to have to work some magic. Trying to push it ahead, reaching ahead. Pretty good effort from Butler. Got 9 on the play. They're a yard shy.
And you get a look from this angle at how far backed off the Riders' defense is. They're giving up everything underneath, just sitting back. Close to 10 yards. Rourke takes what he's given, dumps it off to Butler. Lets him push it out near that first down marker.
Mazzoli into the game on 3rd and 1. BC, 7 for 10. 3rd and short situations so far here this season. The Riders ready themselves. Mazzoli needing a yard. We'll give it to Butler. Up and over. He's got it. Hung on to the ball, too. I like mixing it up like that.
Yeah, up and away for James Butler. On this one, little different look than the usual quarterback sneak. O-line goes low to take care of those Rider defenders. Butler goes high. Pick up the first down fairly comfortably.
Rourke, 8 of 13 for 106 yards and a touchdown. Keeps it on a roll to his right. Looking for Butler. Got a hand on it, but could not haul it in. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Rourke had receivers working towards that right sideline, all at different levels, looking first at Keon Hatcher, a little deeper. He's taken away. Looks to the check down for Butler. That ball just sails a little bit on him as his momentum carries him into that throw running to his right.
7th play of this drive, late in the half for the home side. The 3 receivers out to the right. Here for Rourke. Riders are going to bring some heat. Rourke gets it away. Held on to at the 35 by Everhart with Marcus Sales on his back, but just 7 yards. And it'll be a field goal attempt for Sean White.
Yeah, Marcus Sales right in his hip pocket the whole way there. Everhart did well to catch that one, but can't escape the grasp of the former Lion.
Be a 43-yard attempt for Sean White. That's his longest of the year. Currently sitting at 43. He's hit 25 in a row. Some confusion for the Lions.
Time count violation. violation. BC number 17, 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
And instead of 43, it'll be 48 for Sean White, which would be his longest of the season. Higher to hold, it'll be straight away. Ryder in late, White gets it away, it is up, and it is good. So after a bit of the delay, Sean White makes it 26 in a row.
Well, Sean White, one of the best clutch kickers in CFL history. Guy who began his career here as a BC Lion, doing his second tour of duty in black and orange.
Got the panel together at the half, ready to go. Clean that watermelon off the desk and get refocused on the game. Like they had a riot last night in Winnipeg.
Great to see the panel making the rounds. All the stops in the Canadian Football League calendar this season.
Harris quickly far side of the field. Duncan Busby, that's his team leading third catch of the half.
Mentioned Sean White starting his career as a BC Lion. He and Andrew Harris now of course coaching with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, started their careers around the same time here in BC. Guys that Wally Buono plucked from the Canadian Junior Football League. They were both playing in the BC Football League, able to have territorial exemptions for the Leos.
Harris far out. And Johnson hauls it in, working against Edwards Cooper. And the Riders thinking about some points before heading to the room at the half.
See Johnson working out of the slot. Nice job, kind of got on the outside shoulder on his release. As usual, a well-placed ball from Trevor Harris.
Harris throwing again. Escapes the pockets. Misses his man. Looking for Robustelli, but there's a flag. Right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Harris went down hard at the end of that one. I didn't see exactly what happened, but saw the yellow flag fly in his vicinity.
He was looking for Robustelli.
There you see his steps up. Tehema coming from one side. Lalile from the other.
Roughing the passer, BC number 0, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It was Tehema who got him first. And that moves them into field goal range already. Just when we were chatting with Robustelli earlier in the week, I think it was you maybe asked him about after playing flag football for 12 years, what was it like getting back to contact?
Yeah.
There's a couple moments I thought, what have I getting myself into again? But he's fit in well here with the Riders so far.
Yeah, big target, great speed, and plenty of upside.
Harris, empty backfield again. His running back, A.J. Ouellette, picked up by Holatic immediately. He'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 9 with 38 seconds on the clock.
Ben Holatic, one of the great UBC products in the Canadian Football League. Spent some time as starting middle linebacker here, playing on the weak side primarily this season with Micah Always return.
Had 100 tackles this season a couple of years ago, did Holatic. Going to run it with Ouellette on 2nd and 9. He's upended, and it'll be about 5 yards shy of a first down, and Lawther will come out, try to get these 3 points they just gave up at the other end.
The Lions defense able to slow some of that A.J. Ouellette momentum in the first quarter. We'll hold on here.
Father made from 45 earlier in this game. Now 5 for 9 from beyond 40 on the season. This one 41 just inside the left hash as time ticks down at the end of the half. And he's got it again. Solid first half for Brett Lawther and the Riders in general, as they lead by a dozen on the road against BC. Trevor Harris, 13 of 16, 234 yards, a couple of touchdowns and an interception. What'd you think of his half?
Kind of a great rebound for the team. I can't say necessarily for Trevor Harris, who had a 400-yard passing game last week, but absolutely terrific. Getting his team off to a great start. Terrific leader.
And he's standing by with Farhan Aldi.
Trevor, you talked about last week just how slow this team started. You got things going with a bang here with that first drive, the deep shot. How important was that to get going?
Yeah, it was huge, but we've got to have our foot on the accelerator. Anytime you're playing a team like this that has that many explosive playmakers, we've got to make sure that we could keep extending this.
13 of 16, 234 yards in this half and a pair of touchdowns, but you've also been very, very efficient on second down, including second and longs. How have you been able to do that?
Mark Mueller and our receivers. Our O-line's protecting really well, and so I just go in there and try and deliver the mail to the right spot at the right time.
Trevor, thanks for this.
Thank you.
The Riders with a good start in the first half here. Let's send it to Kate and the panel.
Farhan, we love when things work out this way because we are starting our panel chatting about Trevor Harris's performance, but then we're going to give a little love to Mark Mueller. Just a little bit. But you know what, Milt? We've been calling him T-Money all season long, and guess what? He's living up to this nickname. As Farhan just said, he's got 234, 2 TDs. He's been fantastic in this first half.
And you would never think Trevor Harris is 39. He's playing like a young fella right now. I'm not saying 39 is old, but for football it is. But he's playing some great football right now. What he's doing is he's completing that long ball. When you complete that long ball, it puts so much pressure on the opposing defense. You see right here, he completes a couple of long ones to Myers on that opening drop, really giving his team some momentum. They're finding their way right now. And when Trevor Harris is on the field, this team has an opportunity to beat anyone. A completion of 66, a completion of 50. And then there's another guy on this offense, Joe Robustelli. Him and Trevor Harris are really making a connection right now. Joe Robustelli, as Farhan mentioned, has a story like no other. When you get an opportunity, look it up. But this offense is really shining right now, and it's all because of Trevor Harris, and that running game feeds off it. We talk about Joe Robustelli. This is a catch from last week. That sideline catch was not easy. It's not easy to catch it and keep your feet in bounds. And this is not the same catch. This is the catch from this week. Once again, Joe Robustelli last year, who was just on the practice roster, played in this year. He's getting the opportunity this year, and he's taking full advantage of it. Can plan like that, there's no way they can take this man off the roster, which is a good problem, but he's Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And you love a great story in the CFL, and he is a fantastic one. Now let's talk about Mark Mueller here, because Trevor giving him a little love there, and rightly so. And it's not just the deep balls, it's also what they're doing in the red zone right now.
Absolutely, Kate, and I'm going to go here and show them exactly what they're doing in the end zone, because you know in the end zone, you got to be detail-oriented. And if you make a mistake, sometimes just the wrong step will make you pay. And when you're in the red zone, it's a touchdown. So you look here in the red zone, you got 3 linebackers. They really got 3 of the backers as well, the backs. 2 fullback, running back, and the quarterback. You look at the communication right here. You see the Sam linebacker. He's got the fullback. He says, hey, bump, bump, bump. He's coming in the back. So they're playing what is called on the string. But he doesn't see A.J. Ouellette coming in the back. That's a great play in the red zone right here. You're expecting man-to-man, and you get exactly what you expected. And the Sam linebacker is too late. And guess what? When you're late, you take the wrong step in the end zone, it is a touchdown. It is going to make you pay, Kate.
Just all cylinders rolling right now for this offense when it comes to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Let's flip over to the BC Lions now. And you know what? Nathan Rourke, he had a good first half. He had 112 yards. Not quite the dynamic start that he did have in Edmonton. He's got the 1 TD as well. There was good, and there was a little bit of bad as well, too.
Yeah, there was just a few misses from Nathan that you're not usually going to find. We expect this with these 2 teams. High quarterback play. My mic's not down. Anyway, expect the quarterback quarterback play coming into this game to have good quarterback play. And early on, Nathan missed a couple throws that he normally would make. And then, of course, you see, the great plays that Nathan can make. But the problem is, that's a throw Nathan's not going to miss to McInnes. He's 6'6". And he still missed him. But again, you see the excellent plays that he can make. Now, when you look at the situation, Lee, because what Trevor's doing on offense, why you guys hold your mics up?
Well, I thought we were kind of. I thought we were a team and we do everything the same. So this is why.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
I got it. Because what Trevor, thank you. Because what Trevor's doing on the other side, he's putting a lot of pressure on Nathan to have to make those plays, to have to complete them, because he's got, what's he got? 234 yards on the other side. So Nathan now he's got to put up those numbers. But he's doing stuff like this. I expect in the second half that this BC Lions defense will, hold up a little bit better than they did in the first half. Nathan will complete some of those balls that he missed. I expect this game's not over. This is going to be a good second half, and I expect this to be a good finish. And thanks for helping me out. You guys are a good team.
I will tell you this. This is actually in right now. Like, how they have the mini microphones for the interviewing? So
why wasn't your mic? Why wasn't it clipped on anyway to begin with, Chaz? Everyone keeps theirs clipped on.
I actually took a bathroom break about 45
seconds. You took a bath.
45 seconds before I was in the bathroom taking a break.
Minutes ago.
And actually, Enoch was in there too, but you put your mic. I put my mic.
Details matter.
Not the same time.
Details matter.
I wasn't thinking y'all was in there at the same time. I never said that.
It is day 3 of this panel being back together, and it is completely off the rails. You know what? We had a great start to this game. Hopefully a good second half. We got one more game in week number 7. We'll tee it up right after this. Oh, my goodness.
The roof is open at BC Place. Known around here as the Watermelon Smash game. Harris, deep shot, touchdown Riders. Rourke in trouble, escapes inside the 5. How about that? Remarkable Rourke. And that one is intercepted. Ronald Kent Jr.
How about Kenny Lawler? When he is on, he just looks like he can't be covered.
Lawler up and he gets it. Are you kidding me? Kenny Lawler, you're ridiculous. Kenny Lawler up in the air, juggle, caught it. Touchdown. Looking over the top, back shoulder. Magnificent from Lawler towards the end zone. Touchdown, Kenny Lawler. Ridiculous.
How good has Kenny Lawler been this season? Well, he has 7 TDs, and he is on pace for 25 this season, which would officially break Milt Stiegel's record of 23 in a season. Who better to get their take on this than Milt Stiegel? So is it going to happen, Milt?
If he plays 18 games, I think he has a real good shot. Do I want him to break them? Of course not. I don't want any of my records broken. But if he plays 18, he has a good shot. But, Kate, we're getting a voodoo doll, right?
I mean, I requested one right now from the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Right.
Their response is, we don't have one. No, we wouldn't do anything. You were just going to, put a little spell on this.
I would say the same thing. I was going to say if he's healthy, he's got a legit shot. I think he breaks it if he's healthy, especially because of his quarterback. Bo is as aggressive as anyone, and he'll try to break it. But I don't know. Let's see if he stays healthy. But great start by Kenny.
Yeah, if he stays healthy. And Bo, I feel like they want to do this. Like he seemed like they started the season really wanted to just feed Kenny, and I don't see it stopping.
They want to break Milt Stiegel's record. That's what they want to do, huh? Is that what Bo is?
And they're like, let's get rid of Stiegel right now. All right, well, you can see this game. It wraps up week number 7, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Kenny Lawler, he's on the hunt for Stiegel's record. Will it happen? It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it might happen down the road. Should be a great one to wrap up the week. But we do have a game to finish up here in BC. 23-11 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Trevor Harris with a heck of a half. We'll see what Nathan Rourke does. We'll get you back to BC right after this.
BC Lions trailing the Riders 23-11 at the half. The only touchdown of the day for the Lions. Aiden Eberhardt stands by with Farhan Lalji.
Aiden, let's start with the touchdown, kind of a scramble play that you take across the field. Just how exciting was it to finish that play off?
Yeah, it was awesome to get that one kind of over with, the first one of the season. So felt really good, but I'm be honest, you know, we got to play a total game here, so we need to come back. Going down 12 in the first half isn't ideal, so we're just trying to get everybody on the same page as an offense and be able to score touchdowns.
Collectively, it does feel like things are just a little off offensively. Some high throws or some missed routes. Just what's different today that was so different last week when you guys looked so efficient?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to everybody doing their 112, just like always. And right now, it's not one person. It's as a collective unit. You know, everyone's kind of having their small little mistakes. It's not them, it's us. So we just got to clean it up and have a good, clean second half here.
Thanks for this.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
There's this quarterback, Nathan Rourke, 9 of 15, 112 yards and a touchdown in the first half. The Riders will have a lead. They will also have the ball to start the second half. Myers and McCray back to return, and third quarter action underway here at BC Place in Vancouver. This will be kicked, a short one in the direction of McCray, takes it at the 20, spins his way, stays on his feet, and eventually gets taken down just shy of the 44 on the return from McCray.
Yeah, just nice communication here on the short kick, knowing who's going to take it. McCray coming forward, gets it on the run, just hits that north-south to get what he can.
There's a look at Trevor Harris so far tonight. Monster first half, the only blemish and interception. Outside of that, outstanding. 234 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Starts on his own 44 with A.J. Ouellette to his left. Makes the handoff, wants to throw, finds Johnson, and Johnson tripped up by Williams just inside the 45. What a start to the half for the Riders.
Yeah, just picking up where they left off. Keyshawn Johnson out of the slot, working that slant, gets in front of the defender. Harris hits him on the run. Allowing him to pick up a couple of yards after that catch.
24 yards to Johnson, his team leading fourth catch of the game. He wanted a bit more on that one, but he was tripped up on the play. This time they'll go to Ouellette. Bust through the line. Good pickup on first down as he found the second level.
Offensive line doing a nice job clearing things out of there. Unblocked man on the backside. Ouellette working away from that. Just a good north-south play.
Deontay Williams with the initial contact to hold it to just a 7-yard pickup. Already quickly, BC 35. Harris got that one in there just in time. Myers, good job to get his hands on that. First down.
You see Myers from the outside here, working underneath defender. Robert Carter Jr. reads it. You see him wishing he had just gotten a split second better jump on that. He might have had a shot at that football.
Carter leads the Lions. 4 knockdowns defensively this year. Has an interception as well. Couldn't get either there. First and 10 from the 30. Harris, pump fake. Now a shot down the sideline. Touchdown Riders. Drops it in there for Myers. His second of the game as Saskatchewan picks up in the second half like they left off in the first.
So you remember exactly what happened to Robert Carter Jr. on the last play. They throw the ball in front of him on the slant. He's anxious. He wanted to get a jump on that ball. You saw his reaction. So here you're going to see the Roughriders, who also saw his reaction, take advantage of his hunger to try and get that pick coming downhill. Little double move on the outside, faking a similar kind of slant play and then breaking to go vertical. The defender biting on the first move.
Just a 4-play, 66-yard drive. And straight to the end zone for the Riders. The lead sits at 19. Harris, his third
Dave Myers with the big play. He's lined up on the outside to the bottom of your screen. Watch the move he makes and the effect that it has on the corner here. Robert Carter fake to the inside. Carter plants his feet. Pump fake from Trevor Harris, which you'll see right here, sells it. As you see Carter stumbling to try to recover on that one. As Myers goes over the top. Well set up, as you saw in back-to-back plays. How they kind of baited the first-year corner.
Now it's high. Tico, we're here, baby. 2 touchdowns on the season coming into this game. He's tacked on 2 more in this one. McGee on the return, just outside the 30. Triple team and taken down. Here's a look at Rourke in the first half.
Perhaps a bit of a slow start for the BC Lions in this one, particularly given the way they came out humming a week ago, but Rourke recovers to make that touchdown pass late to Aiden Eberhardt. Obviously some good plays along the way, but the Lions just looking to find a little consistency offensively in this ballgame. They've had those flashes.
No catches on just 2 targets for Justin McInnes after he had just 1 catch last week. This one's up over the head of Hatcher, I believe. And that falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Hatcher's trying to work back into a hole on this one, coming from the slot. Play, you'll see him drive his defender off, trying to work back to the ball, and another one that's just a little bit high, grazing the fingertips.
Rourke was a little bit high in the first half. 1 time to Coutoy and 1 time to McInnes. And now Hatcher there as well. He's 10. Dumps it off, powering his way ahead for the first down. Not a bad idea. Coutoy gets the job done.
We talked a little bit about Sean Harris and Andrew White finding their way into the Canadian Football League from the CJFL ranks. Javon Coutoy, another one from whom the BC Lions benefited. We'll say quickly, I'm a big fan of getting the junior guys in the draft as opposed to the territorial exemption rule. Coutoy's a guy from Calgary. Andrew Harris was from Winnipeg. They came to BC to play junior football.
McInnes was the target, and it was batted away, incomplete.
Trying to pull the linebackers up with the run fake. But McInnes, with that ball tailing low, just unable to squeeze it.
So once again, a 2nd and 10 situation for Rourke. That one high, almost intercepted. CJ Rivas, decent look at it. Couldn't get there.
Yeah, pocket collapsing a little bit on Nathan Rourke on this one. You see Mike Rose, veteran tackle, getting after it. One of Corey Mace's former charges in Calgary, who eventually finds his way to join as one-time D-line coach.
Meyer, low kick. Gray takes it, 42-yard kick, return up the middle. Done a pretty decent job on these punt returns so far today, in the absence of Mario Alford. Another beautiful weekend in Vancouver.
Special welcome back to Milt. Glad to have you back, brother.
Speaking for pretty much the entire league, there was Trevor Harris, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. All glad to see one Milton Stiegel back with the crew. doing a great job as always in studio.
Right back into it. Busy weekend with the panel in Winnipeg last night, back in studio this evening. Can the Lions defense find a way to stop Trevor Harris? AJ Ouellette right up the middle. They'll hang on to him. Pickup of about 5 yards, though. Away, among others, in on the tackle.
Trevor Harris perhaps following the trend here with his performance so far in this ball game. 19-point lead in the third quarter. That's the BC Lions team. He has beaten 9 times in his career. Only the Hamilton Tiger Cats have been victimized by Harris more.
He's 9-3 versus the Lions. 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in those 12 games. 3 more touchdowns than this one. Throwing again. That ball placed perfectly for Myers, who's tackled by Halatic, but not before he's got another first down for Saskatchewan.
And once again, you see the offensive line keeping the pocket clean for Trevor Harris, allowing him to get through those reads before checking it down underneath.
That's a 100-yard game for Dante Myers. Had a 125-yard game earlier in the season. So 2 of them under his belt. Kadeem Carey in the game. Gets the ball. Breaks the tackle. And another 5 yards on first down for Saskatchewan.
And it doesn't necessarily take things like play action runs, bootlegs, RPO stuff for the passing game to be impacted by what you're doing in the running game. It's a matter of the big guys basically controlling the line of scrimmage, keeping that defensive line honest, not letting them pin their ears back, puts them in a better position to protect when Trevor Harris can drop back and throw the rock.
Harris is 17 to 20, 85% so far today. Kadeem Carey stays in there for second down as well. Lions will send 5. Harris over the middle. Duncan Busby's got it. Right at the 30. Underneath the defender. Pulls it in. 300-yard game for Trevor Harris.
Make the point again just about the depth of this Saskatchewan receiving corps. They've been playing, as we'll see, Duncan Busby's the number 3 receiver here, third in from the sideline. Caused the safety, Beaulieu, to turn his hips outside, and then he's got to flip to get back to the inside as Duncan Busby makes that break. But they're playing with 4 second-year receivers among their 5 starters. Not a veteran group by any stretch.
Now they'll hand it off. Kadeem Carey hammered just inside the 30. And is he holding his right leg? I believe he is. Awe got a lot of them. Kadeem Carey. This does not look good. Welcome back, and obviously significant concern here for Kadeem Carey. Cart came out immediately, and everybody who's capable of attending to him is getting a look at. We'll give you one look at this. It's a little bit of a wider angle.
It just appeared that its leg was caught awkwardly on impact there.
Amazing that he's actually even able to get up here. Players on the field took a knee immediately. Pretty gruesome on some slower angles that we're not going to show you. But he's going to hobble and actually just hop off this field. But tough to see a veteran guy like Carey be in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, getting an opportunity, getting a few more touches even in this Saskatchewan offense here today, but sort of reminded of the speed and intensity of the game in moments like this. So, giving our best wishes to Kadeem Carey.
See the look on the face of his head coach, Corey Mace. One of concern, obviously. Reset it, 2nd and 5 for the Riders. A.J. Ouellette in it, running back, steps up to the right of Harris. Harris goes down the field. Keyshawn Johnson has it. And Trevor Harris is absolutely picking apart the BC Lions defense in this football game.
Yeah, again, working the slots. Johnson once again just wraps it around the linebacker, back into the hole. Pretty easy pickings for a veteran quarterback like Trevor Harris.
Just 3 incompletions for Harris today. The Riders have not had to punt. We're late in the 3rd quarter. A.J. Ouellette takes it this time. Down inside the 10, 3-yard pickup.
Anticipate the way this game is unfolding. We'll see a lot of A.J. Ouellette carrying the mail as we move towards the 4th quarter of this one.
Mueller, masterclass so far today.
Absolutely.
Emelis slides over in the slot to the right of Harris. He's going to look in that direction. Throws one up, and that is broken up in the corner. Looking for Duncan Busby. Well, you was there to knock it away. And it'll be a Brett Lawther field goal try.
Yeah. Big defensive play here from the safety, Christophe Beaulieu, 2nd-year man. 1st year in the starting lineup for BC. Trying to limit the damage on this Saskatchewan drive.
Well played, clean play by Beaulieu. 3 for 3. Lawther thus far tonight. 16-yarder here. Makes no mistake. Puts it through. Well, it is getting late early here for the Lions. Got to string some drives together that they have not been able to accomplish so far. Rourke just 10 of 19. 4 receivers out to his left. That's where he's going to go. Berryhill. Berryhill adds some blocking. Pushes it ahead. 7-yard pickup on 1st down.
And just kind of a high percentage flow kind of play. You see the other receivers getting on their blocks there.
Lions are going to move quickly. Butler on the ground, and that'll be a 1st down for BC. Maybe a sense of urgency here for the Lions, facing a 22-point deficit.
That's it. As you kind of look at the scoreboard, you try to find that balance between not wanting to abandon your entire playbook or be forced into a situation where it's all drop back passes, the defense is coming at you. So maybe a little bit slower play pace in terms of the type of plays being called, but go to that hurry up mode so you're saving some time.
On the run to his left, down the field. Is it hauled in?
It was.
Spectacular. Everhart.
Take a look at the tail end of this. As Everhart with the good body control there had the defender blocked off.
Rourke moves quickly, rolls, gets it away, coming back to it was Berryhill, but he could not hang on. Let's take another look at that spectacular spectacular grab from Eberhard as he bobbled it on the way down.
Yeah, Rourke on the run. Ball hangs up a little bit. Eberhard stays with that one as he was unable to catch it cleanly coming off contact. Or did he?
Well, that's why I was a little hesitant on the call. BC, though, moved quick.
Yeah.
Got the play in, and now 2nd and 10. Riders send some pressure. Rourke gets it away. Eberhard again. DeMarcus Fields closed quickly on him, and they're going to be 3 yards short.
Yeah, you'll see slant route, but Fields coming downhill in a hurry on that one to ensure that there was nothing after the catch.
Down 22, offense will stay on the field. Sean White was waiting, but not going to get a look at this one.
In this close, they got to make the most of it.
Rourke needs to find 4 yards here. Riders bring everybody again. Rourke, end zone shot to the corner. Touchdown Lions! Barry Hill pulls it in. His team leading 5th of the season.
Offense will stay on as they go for 2, but let's take a look at the touch on this football from Nathan Rourke. Nelson Lacombo looks like he's in pretty good position given time and distance, but that one just over the fingertips of the Saskatchewan safety into the waiting arms of Barry Hill, who leads the BC Lions with now 5 touchdowns on the season.
6-play drive, 70 yards, just under 3 minutes. They'll go for 2 to try to make it a 14-point game. Rourke moves everybody out to his right. He's in trouble, spins away. End zone, wide open. Barry Hill again. Some ridiculous stuff from Rourke to give the Lions some much-needed life.
Nathan Rourke comes up with a little bit of magic once again.
Barry Hill with the touchdown. Rourke spins, stays alive. Barry Hill, 2 more.
And a couple of busy moments there for BC Lions receiver Stanley Berryhill. Racking up 8 points in a hurry. First, the touchdown catch. Nathan Rourke just drops it over top of the safety. Lacombo into the waiting arms of Berryhill, his 5th touchdown of the season. And then Rourke with the great escape. Berryhill wide open in the back of the end zone to add another 2 points to the tally.
Oh, yeah, shout out to my boy Taino. I love you. Look at the cleat. Go ahead, yeah. Yeah, see them. Go ahead, look at the other side. Go ahead, see them. Shout out to the Berryhill crew. Love y'all. Let's go.
The Lions offense gets a little bit of momentum, hoping they can transfer some of that to their D. They got to find some stops.
I mean, scoring these points is great for BC, but the Riders haven't punted in this ballgame.
Yeah.
Trevor Harris is doing whatever he wants. McCray takes it inside the 20. And we'll take it back just beyond the Rider 40 with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Let's send it down to Farhan Lalji for more on Deontay Williams.
Yeah, Deontay Williams a little lighter in the wallet in this game, coming into the game after the big hit against Arkell Smith in Edmonton last week. Now, he doesn't generally like hitting helmet to helmet, but he does like hitting hard, and he said that's been part of his DNA since he was a little kid. His favorite hit of all time came here in high school. Quarterback floated the ball out to a running back in the flat, and he just laid them out. He said one time when he was a little kid in a Pop Warner game, he hit a player so hard the other player's mom did not want him to get back on the field. So players that he looked up to, primarily his father, Roosevelt, who was a hard-hitting DB in the NFL, also spent some time with the Edmonton franchise and is now a defensive defensive back coach in the NFL with the Jets, and just says that at any time in the game, regardless of whether or not it's one-sided, there's only one way to play, and for him, that's with physicality.
No shortage of physicality in his game, as we've seen so far this season. But he and the Lions defense do not have an answer for the 360 passing yards of Trevor Harris, and there's still a quarter to go.
Yeah, they've had a tough one. Can't hit him if you can't catch him, and that's kind of been the story for the Lions tonight.
A.J. Ouellette, pretty steady, 3 or 4 yards, most touches for him in this ball game as well. That's the thing. Trevor's been in a lot of second and very manageable situations, right?
Yeah, doing a good job. Is that offense with the run game? And again, we know that was job one coming in after the combination of Ouellette and Carey were held to just 12 yards on the ground last week against Calgary. It put a lot of pressure on Trevor Harris. We've talked about his 400-yard game, but that was born out of necessity a week ago. That's not how the Riders want to compete.
Harris under pressure here, turns, almost threw an interception. Trevor sort of just spun and let that fly.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic play.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Trevor Harris.
You don't see that very often from Trevor Harris. See a lot of this from him, though. 3 touchdowns in this game, 9 on the season for Harris. Well, the Riders leading 33-19. Maybe a small victory here for the Lions as we're about to witness Saskatchewan punt for the first time in this football game. BC's defense is going to have to step up here in the fourth.
Yeah, they really are, and it seems like this reversal of fortunes. I don't know if there's some element of karma at play here when you look at the time of possession so far. Saskatchewan with over 27 minutes through the first 3 quarters of this football game, and it's a little bit reminiscent of what BC's offense did last week, where they just couldn't miss against Edmonton en route to dominating that time of possession. Now here's one Trevor Harris did miss, the quick pirouette and a bit of a chuck and duck on that one. Fortunate to avoid the INT.
I think when he spun, Keyshawn Johnson stopped running and then wasn't where that ball was headed.
Yeah, thinking his quarterback was going to scramble.
So for the first time today, Couch drops this inside the 10, a 42-yard pick. McGee, short return. Doesn't make it back beyond the 15. That's a lot of tour stops there. Lots of tour stops along the way. Well, Rourke, a little bit of momentum. A lot of field to work with here. But a touchdown on this drive puts them right back in the thick of it.
Well-placed punt there from Joe Couch, coming from his 45-minute retirement to make that play. But yeah, giving BC the long field here as they try to scratch their way back into this one.
It's been a big day for Eberhardt. 100-yard game for him. 100-yard game for Myers on the other side as well. No shortage of comeback victories in the league this year. Long way to go for the Lions, but maybe some life. See if they can activate Justin McInnes. No catches yet in this game. Rourke in trouble. Right in his face. Can't escape. Taken down. First sack of the ball game comes at a big time for the Riders D.
Every inch is critical here to see the initial pressure coming from Baldonado. Habakkuk Baldonado, global defensive end.
Mike Rose finishes the job. Ball sits on the Lion 5. hands of Cotoy.
The spot here is going to be interesting because the field position says don't gamble, but the score when you're BC, obviously, in the field position, have you in no hurry to give up the football.
Yeah, they needed 17. They end up with 15. Cotoy is down on one knee, and there's an injured rider. That is Milligan as well. So a couple of guys to take a look at. We will step away from BC Place in Vancouver here in the fourth quarter of the Riders and Lions. But likely won't be able to do so. He's been outstanding so far. He's got a 4-shot lead. McElroy in the mix, but will probably need a miracle tomorrow to catch Scheffler. Meyer punts this away, bounces it midfield, and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Well, it's been a great day so far for Dante Myers.
Yeah, it certainly has. Making the most on a couple of deep balls. That got things started early. And that little pump and go, little slant and go over the top. Here early in the second half. Big day for Dante over the century mark.
Second 100-yard game of the season. He and Everhart both 5 catches and 101 yards in this game. Some points from the Riders. Could seal it away here. We'll start with A.J. Ouellette. He finds a little bit of space. Almost had the first down himself. They'll give him 9 before the tackle is made by Alway.
Well, take a look at the little shifting gears here from A.J. Ouellette. They bring a couple of blockers from the backside to lead the way around the edge on this one. Again, Del Duncan Busby coming in motion. Yet another favorable second down position for Trevor Harris in the offense. Or Tommy Stevens, as the case may be.
Short yardage, Tommy Stevens into the game. And he keeps those legs moving. Got the first down and a couple more just for good measure. A.J. Ouellette was 64 yards on 13 carries after just 6 carries for 9 yards against the Stampeders last week. Had 6 catches in that game against Calgary, 2 for 58 yards, so they'll get him involved. Mind you, he only has 8 catches on the season, 6 of them coming against Calgary. You got a weapon like that, you have to try to find a way for him to get involved.
Yeah, no, exactly. If the defense takes him away in one facet, you've got to use another to get the ball in his hands.
Harris looks to his right, hit from behind. He got popped and it's incomplete. Looking for Robustelli, and Harris bounces back up quickly. Toure got all of them.
Yeah, you'll see Toure 58 coming around the edge on this one. Just manages to get the hands of tackle Darius Washington down and off of him. Delivers the big hit. Toure among the top 10 in the CFL in terms of his pressure rate, the percentage of his defensive snaps on which he's able to pressure the quarterback. Pretty good for a non-starter rotation guy.
A.J. Ouellette on his 2nd and 10. And he'll be tackled by Vladeck well short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 6. And the coach will be called to come out and punt it again. So after not punting for the first 3 quarters of the game, back-to-back punts for the Riders.
And the positive side of this, obviously, for the BC Lions is getting a stop with the Riders not in scoring range. The troublesome thing is obviously Saskatchewan being in a position to force them to go close to 110 yards if they're going to score.
Coach has dropped 3 inside the 10 so far this season. The is where Rourke will have the ball, down by 14 with just under 10 to play at home against the Riders. Well, the Lions could use some magic from Nathan Rourke. He's been pretty elusive so far in this game.
Yeah, a few great escapes for Nathan Rourke en route to making spectacular plays. You saw the touchdown pass to Aiden Eberhardt in the first half. Stanley Berryhill first for the touchdown. And then even more excitement on the two-point convert.
This one down the field, broken up, looking for McInnes. McInnes wants a flag. No flag to be seen. He's going to say his right arm was pulled back down. First look at it, maybe he had a case. Buck Pierce is going to take a peek up at the Jumbotron here.
Yeah, and we'll take a peek here as well. McInnes working out of the slot. And just going vertical, not a lot of deception there.
He has challenged it.
You saw some contact on the right arm. I think the question here is going to be about the timing. Yeah, maybe more of the left hand on the shoulder just before that.
BC is challenging the previous play. They believe there was pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
This is a massive swing in this game. Pierce 0 for 2 on challenges as a head coach here in BC. Give you a few more looks at it. I think McInnes was saying his right arm being pulled down right as the ball arrived.
Yeah, I mean, that was a split second early. I think you'll have again, based on timing, almost a better chance of getting the call based on that left hand on top of the shoulder pad just before the ball arrives.
That left hand on the right shoulder right before.
Yeah.
We could watch this in slow-mo a million times. I could never tell you what the call's going to be on this one. Let's find out.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's second down for BC. BC is charged with a team timeout.
No pass interference.
Yeah, I think under the circumstances, certainly a reasonable gamble for the BC Lions, but ultimately letting them play football. And yeah, there was a little bit of contact there early, but I think that's something you can live with.
No 2nd and 10 for Rourke. Over the middle again. McInnes has it this time. First catch of the game. Just shy of the 50. 28 yards to McInnes. A big one for Rourke.
Big strike, and Justin McInnes knows the contact is coming on this one. It's as if the ball is coming in slow motion when you're the receiver in this situation, but no break in his focus at all.
Rourke throwing again. Time in the pocket, gets it away to his running back. Revis, though, wraps up Butler immediately, and it'll be 2nd and 9. Here's another look at that catch by McInnes.
Yeah, Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions clearly knowing as time ticks down, they've got to start getting some yardage in chunks. That the specialty of one Justin McInnes, the CFL's leading receiver a year ago.
Just a yard to Butler on his 3rd catch of the game. Riders send 5. There's a flag. Near side intercepted. Taken back by Campbell. He's going to do it again to the 10. All the way down to the end zone. Touchdown Riders. But there are flags on the field, and we believe it's against Saskatchewan.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 95. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Baldonado, the guilty party.
We'll see Baldonado's stand-up defensive end. And there you saw him twitch a little bit early. I will still take credit for prophetically stating, as we introduce the starting lineups, that Devon Campbell has a nose for the end zone.
You did say that. Second and 4 for Rourke. 4 options out to his right. Looks in that direction now to Butler on the left side. Butler trying to break a tackle. Thrown down. And it'll be 3rd down for the Lions offense.
A.J. Allen able to hold on this one. Wrap up James Butler, forcing this 3rd down. Good job for Allen. Nice story for the Saskatchewan Roughriders this year. A young guy who's worked his way from being a special team stalwart into a bit of a defensive rotation guy to becoming a starter here in 2025.
3rd time they've gone for it tonight. Rourke and flags.
And we got procedure.
Procedure, BC number 64. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Corey Woodruff. And that'll back it up, but that offense will stay on the field.
Yeah, left guard Corey Woodruff just twitched a little early, anticipating what was coming, having to get down to the inside.
They're going to switch it up here, Dwayne. They're going to bring out the punting team.
Yeah, the odds at 3rd and 8. 8.5 even swaying the decision for Buck Pierce.
Good job getting it out to the 50 here, maybe flipping the field position a little bit. McCray stands on his 10. Myers going to kick it in the other direction. Dante Myers takes it at the 15. And he is wrapped up immediately on the play by Patrice Rene. Team leading 8 special teams tackles coming into this game for Rene. He's got 11 on the year now. Mike Alway chatting with defensive coordinator Benavides. And surpassing with 6 tackles tonight, surpassing 500 in his career, just all over the ball all the time, isn't he?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good run for Mike Alway. Well-traveled veteran linebacker. Had a couple of tours of duty previously here with the BC Lions. Really settled in as their starting middle linebacker, leading the way in tackles here in 2025.
Could use a play or 2 here. Harris, far side, 1st down. Dante Myers comes back to the ball for his 6th catch of the game. He's caught all 6 balls thrown in his direction.
Yeah, Myers continuing to add to his total, lining up outside wide on this one. Long throw for a short gain. Nice job coming back towards the football a little bit to make this grab. Trevor Harris getting it to the sideline, throwing them open essentially away from the defender.
13 more yards through the air for Harris. 23 away from 400 again. A.J. Ouellette this time. Couple of yards on 1st down.
First down stop there, allowing them to get into a passing situation. Mentioned Torre and his ability to get after a little bit in the pass rush, so he checks in this 2nd and long situation.
Harris needing 7 yards here. Lions send 6. Harris gets it away, wide open, far side of the field. Myers again. Might want to pick that guy up with the night that he's having.
Myers once again just working that sideline. Defense is backed off. He's got first down yardage. Emilus with the route inside. Occupies one defender. Creating a little bit of space for Myers out there to pick up that first down.
Standing in behind him. Extra protection on the line. Blocking for A.J. Ouellette. Barrels through there. 5 hard yards down to the BC 50 as the Riders putting together a drive to seal this thing away.
And nice job there. Just moving the pile. You know, we saw the time of possession after 3 quarters. Riders with over 27 of the first 45 minutes in this ball game, up to about 33 minutes. At this point. And you imagine, like, this is why you're running the football, is the physical impact that this has had over the course of this ball game. You've got a tired Lions defense out there.
Harris throwing here, and that one broken up. Johnson hops back on it. They rule it incomplete, though. And that will bring up third down just outside the field goal range. So the Riders will punt one more time and make Rourke go the distance of the field twice if they're going to come back.
A nice job there by Jalen Edwards-Cooper. You'll see him kind of wedge his arms in under the arms of their receiver, causing Johnson to have a hard time squeezing that one.
Corey Mace is challenged. Is he challenging that this was a completion? And then they recovered the fumble?
Saskatchewan is challenging the previous play. They believe it was a catch. The play will be reviewed.
All right, so they're going to say, hey, it was a catch. It'd be a first down. It'd give Trevor Harris a 400-yard game for the second week in a row. Let's get a look. What do you think, Dwayne? I mean,
yeah, bearing in mind that we're looking at that in slow motion, and so in terms of how long he actually appears to have possession of the football, I'm not convinced. I agreed, obviously, from a distance here with the initial call. Seemed to be dislodged pretty quickly there.
He looked like he was in the process of bringing it up to tuck it.
Yeah,
and it never
quite
got
get
there.
It there.
All right, let's find out.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's an incomplete pass. Third down Saskatchewan, and they are charged a team timeout.
Use that timeout before 3 minutes anyway. Had to maybe burn one there, so might as well.
Timer, please reset the game.
See if you can keep that offense on the field.
The Lions will go with 2 returners here. The idea being that they don't want to let that ball get on the ground and bounce out of bounds and get hit. They want an opportunity to return it. So 2 returners to cover as much of the field as possible.
Devin McGee is one of them. Carter Jr., I believe the other. Berryhill, I think, might be back there, actually. Going to be kicked in the direction of McGee anyway. And that one flies out of bounds, and the flag does fly for that kick out of bounds. A few extra yards for Rourke with 3:11 remaining in the game.
Illegal punt out of bounds. Saskatchewan number 70. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
There's some valuable yardage here for Buck Pierce's Lions as they try to make up 14 points in just over 3 minutes.
He's going to have to go quick. He's got some excellent weapons, though. Berryhill's a legit deep threat. McInnes, obviously, you can throw one up for him. Hatcher's had a quiet night. Just 1 catch for 11 yards. It's kind of been the Eberhard game for the Lions.
That has, again, bear in mind, you've got a number of Lions in Catoy, McInnes, Hatcher, all among the top receivers in the league in contested catches.
Rourke, far side, wide open. Oussant's got it. And he'll take it out beyond the 45 with his first catch of the season. Can the Lions find a way to make this a one-possession game in the final 3 minutes? Don't go anywhere. Another week in the Canadian Football League will wrap tomorrow. Rematch from last week. Ticats, Red Blacks. Coverage will get underway 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Rod Smith and Paul Police on the call for that one. I believe they're watching this one together tonight. Can't get it away. Batted down. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Mike Rowe is having himself a pretty good day. Rowe was released by Calgary in the offseason, joining the Riders. There you see with the bull rush, just collapsing the pocket, getting in there to bat that one down. Was in on a sack earlier as well.
Riders fans in attendance trying to get behind this defense. Rourke gets it away. Hatcher's got it, pushing ahead. What an effort! First down. Keon Hatcher, and the Lions stay alive for now.
Yeah, Hatcher just working towards the middle of the field here, trying to get up around that first down marker. Does a nice job to fight through.
Second catch of the game for Hatcher. This one's deflected and taken away by Marcus Sales, and that will likely do it. His first interception of the season. A dagger here for the Lions.
A good reaction to the tip ball for Marcus Sales. Playing over at that boundary corner spot for Saskatchewan this year. We've previously seen him over the course of his career playing a little field corner. Started off as boundary halfback, so showing off his versatility. Here as he comes off of his receiver, A.J. Allen tips it up. Sales goes and gets it.
A former BC Lion. The final nail in the coffin here for his former club. He was down for a little while. He is up now and will be walking off. A.J. Allen is the guy who just makes plays. Coming into this game, 23 tackles, a sack, 2 knockdowns, 2 special teams tackles, a 4th fumble, an interception, a tackle is for a loss. That's a hand on that one. 5 tackles and 2 knockdowns tonight as well.
Terrific start to his year again, earning a larger role in that Saskatchewan defense.
Tommy Stevens into the game for the Riders. Stands in behind the towering quarterback. Stevens is going to keep it himself, pushes it ahead, up to the 50. Gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the shotgun formation. Tommy Stevens not in there to throw the deep ball. To get that running offense going.
Trevor Harris, BC, his 9th straight game with a completion percentage of 70 or better. That sets a new CFL record, breaking his old CFL record. He's at 77 in this game, 395 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception. So a good day for the Riders. A little while since they won here. 3 games in a row. They dropped. Not looking like that today.
And not at any point today. I think that's one of the things that stands out about Saskatchewan's performance is there really haven't been any lulls.
They've actually won 13 of the last 18 against BC. Here's Stevens again, trying to find some space on the far side, turns the corner, and he's got a first down.
Yeah, nice execution there from Tommy Stevens. The only thing you might have liked to see from a Saskatchewan point of view is for him to stay in bounds at the end of this one, but he's taken that angle because he's trying to get to the first down marker.
We've seen him break a couple of big ones in his career.
Yeah, something of a specialist here in the CFL, but he does his job well.
Scrimmage and not beyond. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Riders, who up next will be at home next Friday against Edmonton, coming off a bye. The Lions will stay here. They're home versus Hamilton next weekend. Stevens spins his way ahead for a few more, and that will bring up 3rd down.
So now becomes the interesting question. Looks like it's going to be the punt team rather than the field goal unit here. Again, just trying to give BC the long field because they have struggled to go that distance all game. Time obviously working against them rather than trying to extend your lead to another possession and risk having to cover the possibility of a missed field goal with your big boys on the field.
Coach stands right at midfield. Berryhill back for the Lions. Clock ticks down inside 90 seconds. He takes it far sideline, 39-yard kick. Pushes it out beyond the 20. And Nathan Rourke back onto the field. 21 of 34, 265 yards, couple of touchdowns, and then that interception last time out.
Yeah, needing to get the ball downfield in a hurry. Again, anticipate trying to take some vertical shots, particularly with McInnes, Hatcher.
Not much on the ground for BC tonight, just 40 combined yards between Butler and Rourke. Toy not out there right now for the BC Lions. He's down on the sideline.
Micah Johnson slow to get up behind the play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Stinger for Katoy. Thank you, Farhan, for passing that along. Johnson still down.
Do you think it's really a stinger, or do you think that Farhan just didn't want to try to say plantar fasciitis again?
If you missed it earlier in the broadcast, he had some issues with it. He did clear it up on social media later. He did say it. That's funny. All right, looks like Johnson's going to be okay. Caleb Sanders back in this game. Sanders has been dressed. Riders defense has been excellent against the run, and that's proven true this one. Back to Hatcher, up to the 45 with just over a minute remaining.
Yeah, Lions getting some yardage in chunks, but relatively small chunks given. They need to score twice, and there's just over a minute left to go in this one. Saskatchewan will let them catch the ball underneath. Just making sure they don't give up the big game.
Lays it out here near side. Flags. Couple of them. McInnes working against Fields, and this time it will be pass interference against 22 in green and white.
Yeah, long throw out to that wide
Pass
side.
interference. Saskatchewan number 22. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It almost appeared to be one watching that play develop where Fields knew he was going to be early, and he was okay with being a little early to make sure that there was no catch on the play. Give you that yardage, nothing after the catch. Same effect by taking the penalty.
Berryhill's got the first down. Hammered. His helmet comes off. He's okay. 300-yard gain for Nathan Rourke late in this one.
Trying to use Berryhill's speed with the crossing route rather than the vertical. Pretty good collision, but he immediately demonstrates he's fine.
C.J. Rebus lowering the blow on Eberhardt that time. 2nd and 10 with 37 seconds on the clock.
Clock stops for Saskatchewan. This gives Micah Johnson a chance to check back in. He's been out for 3 plays. So good to see that the veteran is okay.
It's the 4th 300-yard game of the year for Rourke. In just his 5 starts. 3 and 1 so far. About to take a loss here. Back to Hatcher again. He'll take it down inside the 20 with 30 seconds on the clock.
Again, 2-score ball game. I'd be a little surprised not to see BC take a shot at the end zone here.
Yeah, you got to get it in immediately here. 3 to the right, 3 to the left for Rourke. Goes far side. James Butler will step out of bounds with 22 seconds left. 5th catch of the game for Butler, even though he's been quiet on the ground.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders, offensively and defensively, clearly understood the assignment this week. Win at the line of scrimmage. They've run the ball effectively offensively and prevented their opponent from getting any traction in the ground game defensively.
9th play of this late drive. And it will be a touchdown. Back to Eberhardt for his 2nd of the game and 2nd of the season. But just 19 seconds on the clock.
They're going to bring Eberhardt across the formation behind the line, run fake, and holds the defenders in the box. And slip it out to Eberhardt on the perimeter. Currently an 8-point game. You are playing for the tie, going for one here, and hoping you get another shot. Or not.
Oh, they're gonna go for 2. And they'll hand it off to Butler, and he's in. That makes it a 6-point game.
Going after it aggressively to try and play for the lead if they are able to secure a short kickoff here.
Well, they have some big bodies that could go after a short kick. One of them, Katoy,
out of the game right now. Sean White will need to put something perfect out there. Once again, just 19 seconds on the clock. Riders a few moments away from improving to 5-1. And if they do indeed secure this kick, 3-0 on the road.
Hands team gets out there for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Dante Myers, Keyshawn Johnson, Sam Emilus kind of set up in the second row as the receivers they're attempting to protect.
Sean White trying to place something just right for the Lions here. He'll hang it up there. Keyshawn Johnson's got it. And that will secure victory for the Riders here in Vancouver.
And the situation is nicely handled by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Count off, know who your guy is. Everybody get on your blocks. Give that receiver a chance to catch the ball cleanly. Executed to perfection. A play you don't have to do very often, but when you do, it always matters.
Trevor Harris and the Riders in victory formation against their division rivals. Let's give you the updated standings. Saskatchewan keeping pace with a pretty good Calgary team at the top.
Yeah, I mean, this West Division has been crazy competitive through 7 weeks. And obviously, it's still early in the season, but the stage has been set for us to talk crossover a little bit, and it's, you know, it's neat the way the schedule is worked out with, you know, these teams kind of jockeying for bragging rights a little bit, the top 4 teams in the West, and having them facing each other here as everybody tries to sort out the pecking order at this stage in the season.
Pretty impressive performance for the Riders from start to finish tonight. Trevor Harris, 23 of 30, 395 yards, 3 touchdowns, leading his Riders to a 33-27 victory over Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions as Saskatchewan keeps pace with the Stampeders at the top of the West. Good night from Vancouver.
Come on in. Welcome to Sports Center. Jermaine Franklin, Nikki Reyes here with you, and we're going to start exactly where we just left off with the game. Riders, Lions. Now the Lions, they have won 2 straight, but they're still in the big picture trying to find their stride. Meanwhile, the Riders looking to bounce back after their first loss of the season came to the Calgary Stampeders, which there is no shame in that because the Stampeders have been simply outstanding, and the Riders came correct once again.
Yes, they did. These 2 teams met in week 4. Of course, like you said, Lions looking to bounce back, and make no mistake, the Roughriders had their fingerprints all over this one. Riders took the opening meeting, as mentioned, in week 4. However, Nathan Rourke and Trevor Harris both did not play in that game, so it's their first meeting this season. After the Lions went 2 and out on their opening possession, it's Harris finding Dante Myers down the field for the 50-yard score. Harris was on fire in the opening quarter, going 6 for 7 for 126 yards and 2 TDs. But later in the quarter, it's Rourke making his mark on the game.
An absolute strike.
Barry Hill in the slot. Now Butler will slide over to the right. Rourke in trouble. Escapes. Now he's on the run. Now he throws towards inside the 5. How about that? Remarkable
Unstoppable Rourke.
Nice moves. Rourke somehow breaks the sack and finds Aiden Everhart down the field for the highlight reel score. And in the second quarter, Harris looking to respond.
Harris has started this game 9 of 10, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's slinging it today. 3 options out to his left. That's where he looks. That's where he throws. And that one is intercepted.
I'll take the heat for Jinxon Harris.
You sure did. Harris jinked by Dustin Nielsen. Ronald Kent Jr. with the pick and afterwards giving the ball to his mama. Great moment for the 25-year-old. Yeah, you got to give it to your moms. Now in the third, Riders up 12. Harris, deep throw, and once again, it's Myers coming down with it. This time for the 30-yard score. Riders take the 19-point lead. Nice moves there. However, Rourke
Temptations.
and the Lions not going away. You know those moves, don't you?
Oh, big time.
Later in the quarter, Rourke finds Everhart down the field, who makes the great catch. 3 plays later, on third down, Rourke throws a dime to Stanley Berryhill for the TD. Then on the 2-point conversion, Rourke spins away from pressure, finds Berryhill for the conversion. A masterclass of a drive from Rourke. The Lions pull within 2 scores. Now in the fourth with 2:35 on the clock. It's 33-19 Riders. 1st and 10 for the Lions and Rourke. He is picked off by Marcus Sales. They would tack on another one late in the game, but too little, too late. Saskatchewan Roughriders take this one, 33-27. The final. So the Lions' #1 pass defense was shredded tonight. They came in holding quarterbacks to just 182 yards per game this year. Trevor Harris more than doubled that number. Harris has thrown for over 800 yards in his last 2 starts. And BC has a -11 turnover differential this season, the worst in the league. With more now, here's Kate Burness.
Alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel, and once again, Trevor Harris putting an impressive performance in this game tonight. And my goodness, T-Money has been on absolute fire. He had 395, just 5 yards short of 400. He ended up with 3 touchdowns as well. Enoch, this man is 39 years old. And could you argue right now that he is playing the best football of his career?
You have to argue that. I mean, he's been playing terrific football so far. And especially this season, he's surrounded with such great players as well. You talk about Sam Emulis coming into the season and how he's been looking as well. Hurt, but comes back. He's got supporting cast in Dante Myers, Keyshawn Johnson, Robustelli stepping in. He's playing tremendously well this season so far. And I've seen him. We know he's been one of the most, accurate passers, and he always goes intermediate passes. But I feel like I've seen him this year throw the deep ball really well as well. Last game that he's played, 66 yards was his long ball. If he keeps going this way, he's definitely going to go over the most yards that he's ever thrown in his career.
Yeah, I think he's playing the best football of his career. In the offseason, general manager Jeremy O'Day, head coach Corey Mace, they decided to extend Trevor Harris, a 39-year-old quarterback, which at the time I questioned. I didn't know if it was the right decision. You put that money into a guy that, can he stay healthy? Can he still get it done? I wasn't sure. Right there, that was his 9th straight game of over 70% efficiency rating, which is an all-time best in the CFL. Trevor Harris is lights out. As you know, a good route and an accurate throw is unguardable.
Right.
And that's what I saw tonight. I didn't think the BC Lions had a chance no matter what Nathan Rourke did, because Trevor was so accurate, they couldn't get him off the field, and that's what Trevor Harris does.
There's really no argument. This is the best we've seen Trevor Harris play. And the only thing that can stop him, in my opinion, is injury. That's it. The fact that he's 39, he's playing the best football of his career, that's impressive. And you spoke of it, the completion percentage. I mean, right now this season, he's 76%, which is crazy. He's really throwing the ball. He's efficient. His players are helping him out there making plays. But Trevor Harris, his only downfall is when he gets injured. And people will say, well, he's 39. That's going to happen. Trevor Harris is a special player. If he remains like this team has an opportunity to do some great things this year. So good on him. I think he's changed the way he's trained, and you can see it benefiting for him this year. So Trevor Harris is playing MOP football right now.
And the Riders are perfect 3-0 on the road so far this season. As for the BC Lions, they have some work to do. They fall a game below 500, and they next take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
New on SC with 3 TDs, 1 interception, and just shy of 400 yards. Here's the 39-year-old Trevor Harris.
Trevor, we talked at halftime about how you guys started fast in this game. You did the same thing in the second half to be able to close the first and start the second that way. How important was that?
It was huge. You know, anytime you're playing against a team like this with these playmakers, and in the CFL where games are never over, you've got to make sure you stay on the pedal, because a 2-score, even a 3-score lead, with 6 minutes left, the game's not even close to being over yet. And so, wish we could have, sustained a little bit more in these last couple drives and really put the game away. But our defense did a great job in the end for us.
You didn't punt until the fourth quarter. Whenever you needed a play, especially on second down, you were able to get it. How were you able to be so efficient?
Mark Mueller called a great one, and our O-line was fantastic today. I think we ran for over 100 yards, and they protected very, very well. And our receivers make plays, and so that's all there is to it. And here comes AJ with his patented tackling me. So,
well, you didn't get tackled much today. I think you got hit once. Just how comfortable were you offensively throughout this game? Because it didn't look that way against Calgary last week. You certainly were able to get what you wanted in this one.
Yeah, I think we just protected well, and we were able to kind of move through progressions. And like I said, Mark was able to kind of open stuff up, whether it be the front side or back side, and we just kind of just trusted our instincts and let it play, and worked out.
I'm trying to take the steam off the tackle right now here. Thanks for this, Drew.
All right, and this one had 132 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. New on SC, Dante Myers.
Big game for you, 7 receptions, over 130 yards and a couple of touchdowns, and you started it off with a bang on that first drive. Take me through how that really set the tone for this team.
Well, we wanted to come out and start fast. That's something that we preached from the top down, from Trev, from Coach Mays, from Coach Quay, Coach Bill in the receiving room. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be aggressive, and we just wanted to minimize the mental mistakes and to be explosive and be ourselves.
You guys have dealt with some injuries offensively as the season has gone on, but now guys are starting to come back. How explosive can this group be when you're fully healthy?
Well, the sky's the limit. We think the scoreboard has no limit. That's our goal. We want to be explosive. We want to put points on the board. So whoever's out there, we know that we can get it done.
I know that everyone said throughout the week that Calgary game last week wasn't you. How nice was it to kind of get this turned around quickly?
Well, a win in the win column is always what we feel like ourselves is. So last week, we flushed it, learned from it, go back to work, and we're glad we came out here and got the dub. So time is to repeat the process.
Thanks for this.
No problem.
Well, week 7 of the CFL season wraps up on Sunday night when the Tiger Cats visit the Red Blacks. Hamilton is a small favorite for the East Division showdown, with Davis Alexander aggravating his hamstring, as well as both Toronto and Ottawa struggling out of the gates. Hamilton has an opportunity to make a push beginning on Sunday night. Bo Levi Mitchell and Kenny Lawler have been electric so far. Mitchell is the betting favorite to win the CFL's most outstanding player, while Lawler has the shortest odds among non-quarterbacks. Kickoff will be just after 7 p.m. Eastern on TSN.